Hello.
Hello.
Back out again with my son Trav.
Hello.
Hello. So today we're at one of my favourite places in Sussex. So we're all actually walking around the Knepp Estate. I'll talk more about it later, but it's basically being rewilded. So what was it? Well, originally it was a deer hunting park for the sort of main lord who owned the rap of, now let me think, it would have been Bramber, because we'll talk about it in another video, but basically Sussex was divided up into 5 and later 6 strips of land. Anyway, so Knepp was used as like a wild boar and deer hunting park for the lords who ran Bramber, and we'll come to it in a bit, but they also built a castle. So it comes from the Saxon word Njop, meaning crown of a hill, and that does look fairly flat. So anyway, it was used as sort of deer hunting, wild boar hunting till we wiped them out park. Then the castle was used as almost a hunting lodge, and then at some point in the 16th century it was all sort of chopped up, started being used for agriculture rather than just the hunting. And yeah, it was an intensive farm for all that time. Anyway, we're going to push on. We're heading on the long route. It's really well signposted here. They've got like blazes, and we're on the longer one. And we're heading out towards the castle, which I can just see peeking over the trees. So I'll come back when we get to the castle. Okay, so we're just coming up to the castle ruins. This is Knepp Castle, built in the 1100s by William de Bruce, who was the Lord of Bramber. As I said, it's built as a hunting lodge. It was obviously a lot more spectacular than this in its day. And then it was built into stone in 1214, I think, and then the Lord fell out with King John, I do believe, who then took the castle for himself for a while. And then what really did it was the castles weren't that luxurious for living in, so it wasn't being used, but what really did it was in the Civil War, lots and lots of castles were attacked by the parliamentarians, and this suffered the same fate. So it was blasted by cannon, knocked most of it down, and then to compound it, unfortunately you may see there, I think that's the A283, it's the main road running up there, unfortunately right beside it, and a lot of the bricks apparently were used to build the first road, not the current road. They didn't do that, it was protected by them. But yeah, interesting history. So the current owners have a new Knepp Castle, but it's more a gigantic house. We may get to see that later. But yeah, quite something to look at. And it's surrounded, or was surrounded, by a moat, which isn't a moat now, but it is pretty soggy. So we're going to get soggy feet on the way down. We're heading over that way. We're doing like a giant circle through the whole park. Okay, we'll push on. Okay, we're a bit further on. Thought I'd just stop and show you where we are. So right there, you can see it. That's the modern mansion, estate house, where the Burrells live. Over there, field of wild cattle. Wild as in they're just allowed to roam around the estate.
Ooh, a castle house,
yeah, well, they call it a castle, but it's actually a mansion. It's where they live now. So a bit of background, so I haven't talked about it. So Knepp Estate is one of the big estates. It's 3,500 acres, so it's pretty big. It's up near a place called Dialpost, which is south of Horsham. The current owner, Charles Burrell, I believe, inherited the estate in 1983. So it had been, since I think I told you, mid 16th century, it had been a farm, agricultural land. Along with his wife, her name's Isabella Tree, she's quite well known. They tried to work it as intensive farmland, but they found they struggled to make a profit. Didn't. Yeah, there's a few cars up there because we're walking around by their house. So what they did was they decided to do something radical and rewild it. So they stopped doing all the farming, sold all the farm machinery, and have literally let it go back to nature. And that was about 2001 or something. So it's been about 20 years now, and it's fantastic. 3,500 acres, so it's pretty big. And yeah, there's wildlife. They've introduced wild cattle, wild horses, Tamworth pigs. There's a story about that, but they did want to bring in wild boars, but there was a bit of uproar about, oh no, we might get hurt by a boar. I'll talk about that a bit in a minute. There's a bit of a story into the animals they introduced, but they tried to introduce animals to make it wild, and there's tons of deer. And it's absolutely fantastic. It's not too busy today, there's a few people around. I can see cattle on both sides of us. So yeah, there's various they're all public footpaths, you don't have to pay to come here. And there's various footpaths, we're on the long one I think I mentioned, but there are footpaths to suit all sizes and ages and how much walking you want to do. Okay. You shut the gate, Trav? Here, Trav. Do you know what?
What?
I haven't seen any pigs yet, have you? No. But I'm feeling a little funny. I think, do you know what's happened? Trav, do you know what's happened? No. I think I'm turning into a pig!
Take it off!
Ah!
Yeah! And guess what? Put it away!
Right.
Why having that in here?
I felt like a piggy, Trav.
But it seems weird.
Oh. Cup of coffee, pork pie, lovely jubbly. So we're a bit further round. I'll give you a spin round. It's absolutely gorgeous here. Dead quiet. The road is miles away now. Just completely surrounded by wildness. That's something you never see. Like no farms, fields, no cultivation. Just beautiful wildness. I was going to say a bit earlier, we saw they were culling deer, and we saw them dragging one of the carcasses they'd shot. Now I didn't film that, I didn't think it would be that appropriate to be putting that on the video, but I thought I'd just quickly talk about it. Well, you know, they sell venison, isn't that terrible? Lots of people were like, oh no, that's awful, shooting deer. Now, the reason they have to do it is because in a real natural wilderness they would have predators, and without predators the deer sort of run roughshod in a way, you know, rampant, like just breed and breed and breed, and they would just eat everything, so it would just be like barren almost. Now in a natural environment there'd be predators. You would have had, and this is what we would have had, you'd have had bears, wolves, lynxes, and of course everyone's like, no, we can't do that. I don't, personally, I have them all back, but of course everyone's up in arms, you can't do that. So without those natural predators, well, they have no choice, they have to keep those deer numbers down, and the natural predators would have got rid of them way back when. So that's what it's done. I just hope one day maybe they can fence it in and allow wolves. Wolves don't attack people. I mean, I think there's been one, I did have a look at statistics in America, never, they hardly ever attack anyone. Anyway, we'll push on. Okay, back in the car. Absolutely gorgeous out there today. Lovely and sunny. It feels a lot warmer than it said. It said about 5-6 degrees. It feels a lot warmer than that. We didn't have to wear the scarves, the hats, anything like that. Glorious walk. Always is at Knepp. As I said, it's my favourite place. I just love what they've done with the rewilding and being so natural and everything. Just wait till they put wolves and bears in. I doubt they're going to be allowed to do that anytime soon. So, guess we do the verdict. Oh yeah, the other thing to mention, car park's free. There's actually, in the summer, there's a bigger car park, but it's locked now, and there's 2 car parks as you go down. It's all signposted. It doesn't cost anything. Tons of families today, so it's definitely a family play. You know, I saw loads and loads, and we saw loads of kids, didn't we, Trav? Yeah. Right.
And there's been no rain today.
No rain again. Touch wood, fingers crossed. I think the last time we had a proper rain day, I looked back on all our little outings, and I think it was the 3rd of October. But I don't want to tempt fate. As I say, I do go out if it's raining. Just happen to have been lucky. Okay. What's your verdict?
Very good walk.
Very good walk. Me, absolutely superb. Knepp is fantastic. I come back loads of times. I come different times of the year. Didn't see much wildlife today, but that's probably because they were shooting and scared them all off. All right then. That's it. So, bye.
Bye.
Bye.